Hi and welcome back. So, does even the slightest sign of disapproval send you into panic and anxiety? Do you find yourself scanning the room, making sure that everyone's okay with you, no one's upset with you, looking for that reassurance that you're okay? If so, then your self worth is tied to other people's approval. And you probably have a core belief that if they don't like you, then there's something wrong with you. Possibly that belief that you've never been good enough. There's always been something wrong. But the truth is, this core belief can be changed. And if you're someone who's always trying to work out what everyone thinks of you, if they're okay with you, if you're upsetting them, but you're feeling really frustrated and exhausted in doing this, sick of walking on eggshells and being on high alert, then a part of you knows that this should be changed. And even if you fear the disapproval and feel like you need to hold on to this, that part of you is ready to change and wants to be free of constantly needing other people's approval. And so imagine a life where you use your voice unfiltered without anxiety of what you're saying. You finish projects and you're listening to how you feel about them rather than waiting to hear how other people are going to receive them. And you just feel steady and secure in yourself, even when other people might feel a little bit off around you. And if that sounds like peace, something that you'd like in your life, then stick around because we're looking at how the solution is not in fixing how other people see you, it's untangling that old core belief that your self worth is measured by someone's approval or disapproval of you. And this one is something so dear to my heart because I used to shapeshift, morph and mirror when I was in different situations with different people. So I know how exhausting the mental exhaustion of trying to hide the parts that you think won't be accepted, won't be liked, might cause conflict, might cause disapproval. But what finally pushed me to make the changes that I've made in my own life is the feeling of just exhaustion after being with people. Instead of enjoying and reflecting on the fun I've had, I'd go over what had happened, what I'd said, how they reacted. And I found that everything I was doing, the choices I was making, who I was turning up as, was what I thought other people needed, what they wanted, not what I needed. And I could feel myself losing myself, disappearing in other people's wants, fearing their disapproval and just looking for the reassurance that I was okay. But I ended up not being able to even feel who I was. And I even remember at the end of one relationship, I couldn't remember if I liked wearing toenail polish or what colours to wear, just because of the person's preferences in the last relationship. And for 2 weeks, I wore a different colour on each toe, staring at them, thinking, I don't know what I like. I don't know what I want on my own toes. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I need to change this. And I did. And as a mindset change and emotional transformational coach, I help others break this pattern and come home to themselves, recognize what they want, what they need, find out how to create self validation. And in this video, we are going to untangle where that need for approval and that fear of disapproval came from, how it's showing up in all areas of your life and holding you back and limiting you, and actually damaging your whole sense of self. Look at 4 ways in which you can start to transform this mindset and these patterns. And we're going to end with a really powerful guided session of changing those beliefs and those mindsets and the emotions so that you can start to build self validation, lose the need for external validation, and start to feel really self worthy in yourself, regardless how anyone else is treating you or responding to you. So let's look at this pattern. How does it appear in your life? Are you someone who even changes your clothes and your character and your personality, your opinions and your words, depending who you're with? Shape shifting, finding out what the other person wants and needs before stepping into that space and becoming you. And then when you're sending messages or writing posts, you're rewriting, you're self doubting, you're rereading. And when you post them, you're waiting on eggshells to see what the response is. Was it approved of? Did it upset anyone? And just spending so much time in your life monitoring how other people are responding to you, finding out what you think they need from you, will like in you, and abandoning everything else. putting it in a box like it doesn't exist, losing yourself. And when it comes to the decisions and choices in your life, are you checking every decision with other people, changing your opinions and your thoughts and your choices if they give a different suggestion or don't agree with the one that you've already found for yourself was a good fit? And this can really limit how you take risks in life, take opportunities in life, and just feeling like you're leading your own path rather than following what everyone else is doing. And you're showing more worth to other people's choices than your own, which slowly eats away at your self worth and your self confidence and your inner trust. And if all of that sounds familiar, you are seeking external validation for your worth, relying on the approval of others to know that you're okay, looking outside yourself constantly rather than checking how things feel inside. And while positive reassurance and recognition can feel nice, if it's a necessity for you to feel okay about who you are or what you're doing, the choices you're making, it becomes dangerous because you are putting your whole sense of self worth into other people's hands. Your partners, family, friends, employees, your boss, your followers. And that's fragile because they have the power to give it and take it away in their hands. And so when that reassurance or approval doesn't come, you can spiral into panic and anxiety and just start growing that self doubt over and over and abandoning choices and thoughts that when you initially had them were really important to you, which increases fawning behavior, overgiving, shape-shifting, overworking, and that need for approval and that fear of disapproval silently starts to bleed into and run every area of your life. And many life experiences can shape this behavior or increase it as you go through life. If in your childhood love felt conditional, or you were criticized, shamed, made to feel guilty, made as to feel as if your thoughts and opinions just weren't important, felt invisible, it might be that you were constantly criticized and made to feel like you were doing something wrong, or you had love removed if you didn't do what they wanted. Or maybe your values and beliefs and character and personality were just so different from your family. And if you weren't taught to embrace them and to self validate the good and the value in those, it can lead to a life of seeking outside of yourself, trying to find the approval and validation that you never felt you had, that recognition early on in life. And you can grow up simply feeling like you don't fit in anywhere, you don't belong, as if something's wrong with you, something's broken and need fixing. Painful personal experiences later on in relationships can really further damage this, can knock your self esteem, knock your self trust, any self worth. If you were criticized and judged for who you were, you can start to hide those bits. If you betrayed, you can start to hide the bits that you feel led to being betrayed, to being rejected. Manipulative behavior and abusive behavior can further knock this confidence and that sense of self worth. And all of this leads you to carry on through your life constantly seeking validation, reassurance that you're okay, that you're lovable, that you're enough. So you learned that approval meant lovable, acceptable, safe, and disapproval was dangerous, something wrong with you, rejection, which leads to a life of abandoning who you authentically are, trying to fit in, abandoning your needs, trying to keep everyone happy, and never tuning in to what you want, what you need, even what you enjoy. And if you can see yourself in any of these patterns and you're ready to transform this and be free of this, then hit the notification bell, subscribe to the channel because so many of my videos look at changing this kind of pattern of trying to please others, trying to stay safe. So let's look at how this is bleeding into your life. How is it affecting and limiting and damaging how you're living? So, this fear of disapproval really affects relationships. You'll find it hard to say no, set healthy boundaries, give different opinions, even when it really, really matters. And this can lead to silent resentment, self loathing, and self hate, and your self worth just really diving all the time. You turn into a social chameleon where you're hiding all those different parts of you, being what others want you to be, and slowly lose all sense of who you are, which means that your relationships can never have that deep intimacy of authentically knowing one another. And you risk becoming codependent and developing insecure attachment styles, which means you never feel safe or really truly comfortable when you're in relationships and around other people. It affects your work. If you're not speaking up when you're having good ideas because you're fearing people might think you're being pushy, or they'll think your ideas are stupid, or they might criticize them. And so you are valuing and agreeing to other people's ideas above your own, even if you don't think they're as good as yours. And walking through your working life under the radar, playing it safe, keeping small, is affecting your ability to have your own personal growth and development in any workplace. And even if you're very successful, you'll be living on exhaustion rather than a sense of purpose. And very possibly overgiving, overworking in your life, just constantly trying to find that approval or making sure that everything is perfect and just right before you hand it for anyone else to see, with the fear of them being disapproved of or criticizing your work. And social media has become a big part of most people's lives now. And if you're operating on any of those social platforms with that deep background desire for approval and fear of disapproval, the amount of stress and exhaustion that this is causing your body is immense. Every post is a bid for reassurance, approval, and acceptance. Every comment not given feels like a rejection. Counting the likes, always checking everything. So the time spent checking on devices to find out, have they approved of you? Are you enough? Have you been accepted? Or are they pushing you away? Creating a sense of really not belonging and feeling really lonely. Your physical body and nervous system is being damaged by this. You will be constantly in flight or fawn or freeze trauma response. It creates stress, tension, and exhaustion in the body. You're never fully relaxed, never fully recovering, never fully at ease in yourself. And all of this can lead to chronic stress and illnesses and low well being. And it also dissolves your sense of identity. You're following other people's paths rather than your own, choosing other people's choices over your own. And over time, the more you do this, you do lose a sense of who you are when you're shape shifting, mirroring other people, making choices based on what you think will be approved of rather than is good for you, feels authentic. And you can lose all sense of who you are, which can make you feel so low and lost and lonely. And this all stops you going after your dreams, living the life which would give you pleasure and enjoyment, which you deserve to have. And if all of this resonates, you're not broken, you've just been taught or learned or experienced and created limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck in this pattern. But the good news is you can unlearn these. You can learn to self validate. You can learn to grow your self worth. And this, when this happens, that external need, that seeking approval, that fear of disapproval naturally dissolves and you feel safe and secure in yourself. And this isn't about becoming a robot who doesn't care what anyone else thinks, doesn't value other people's opinions. It's about building inner resilience, inner calm, where other people's opinions of you, responses towards you, do not shake that solid sense of self worth. And we're going to do this now by looking at four methods that you can use to start to involve in your daily life, which start to grow self worth, become aware of what you want and what you need, and really notice when those patterns are interfering with your life. And we're going to end with a really simple but powerful tool which will start to change those mindsets and those patterns and behaviors and beliefs so you can start to feel better, safer, and come home to yourself today. And the first method is to become your own cheerleader, to stop waiting for other people to celebrate you, to approve of you, and start doing it for yourself. And the way to do this is using a celebration jar or a celebration journal. And I know it can sound cheesy, but it really does work. And I've got my own. And there are some days I really rely on it to pick myself up when those inner judgments are coming in and I can only see what I've done wrong or how someone responded to it. Just sitting back and thinking, What have I done well today? What makes me happy? What am I pleased that's happened, regardless if no one knows about it? And so, in this jar or this journal, every night, write down three things that you feel celebrate you. And with this, you're training your brain to recognize yourself as a source of validation, what matters to you, what you're proud of, what you enjoy. Method number two is to identify and write down your core values, core needs, and core wants, your desires. And the previous method can help with this because you're starting to recognize what's important to you. And your core values are what really guides you through life. What makes you happy? What feels important to you? Which parts have you abandoned because they didn't suit other people's core needs or core values? And when you're writing down your needs and your desires and your wants, no one else is seeing them. You're really tuning in to what makes you tick, what makes you happy, what you enjoy. And these lists can become your inner compass. And when you're living by them, you don't need anyone else's path, direction, or map to guide you to where they want you to go. You're on your own path. Then, before making any decision or choice or agreeing to anything, you can check in with your lists and see, do these align with me? Do they align with my values, what I want, what I enjoy? Am I honoring my needs, creating my life? Or am I just seeking approval or trying to avoid disapproval and upsetting others? And while it can then be hard to voice them and act on them, the act of acknowledging them, connecting to them, getting back in touch with them, and bringing up that self awareness of where in your life your path is going this direction, where actually you'd rather it went this direction, sets you up to make the changes, to know what you want. And the third method is creating those healthy boundaries. And even thinking about what boundaries you want to put in place, again, connect you and align you with your needs and your wants and your desires. So, all of this is growing self awareness and starting to put yourself first, which naturally grows self worth and self respect. And this makes you less susceptible to any need for external validation. And if you struggle with making healthy boundaries, you can download the link in the description below, which is my guilt free boundaries guide and top tips for setting those boundaries. Because it's so vital that you put those boundaries in place and put the boundaries in for yourself when you're aware that you're not looking after yourself. Whether or not it's self care boundaries that you're putting, making sure you're going to bed so you can relax, you're drinking enough water. But really importantly, is self boundaries with social media. So if you're one for doom scrolling, either stop it or put a real strict limit on how long you're allowed to feed your self worth into flicking through late at night or when you should be doing something else and you're escaping through it. Because that is a platform just waiting to keep this pattern alive. Unfollow groups which don't make yourself feel good about yourself, which create inner judgment or a sense that you're not as good as them. You don't need them in your life. And limit the time you allow yourself checking your devices after posting or sending an email, running back to check it. Once you've sent something or posted something, constantly thinking, will it be approved? Will people like it? What they're going to say about it? Be very strict with yourself on when you can go back and look, or even if you need to look. And you can create other distractions without your phone. Leave your phone somewhere else. Go and make a nice cup of tea. Take a nice deep breath and just pause, come back into you, your life, rather than waiting to see how you've been received, how people have responded to you. And all of these boundaries help you create a living space that supports your nervous system and sense of self rather than aggravating it. And the fourth method is to practice safe disagreeing. So, with people who you feel safe with and comfortable with, start to bring in just little disagreements with them, whether or not it's about a movie, a character, even a colour, just to get used to not mirroring what they're doing, what they're saying. Saying no to something which is low stakes is not emotive, doesn't really mean much to you or the other person, can really start to build your confidence in practicing what it feels like just to have a different point of view from someone else, just to speak without thinking, are they going to agree? Are they going to like me? Are they going to dislike me for this? And watch what happens, because it won't be anything terrible. You might find they don't even notice it. And even better, you might find that your connection feels more authentic and grows with people. And you start learning that agreeing, approval, disapproval doesn't equate to love. You can disagree with someone and still love them and still be loved by them. And now we move into the fifth point, which is how vital it is to change and transform those mindset beliefs that you need approval, that disapproval is frightening, makes you bad. And today we're going to be using a really simple technique called EFT or tapping. And if you're new to EFT, it's a very, very simple technique where we're just going to be gently tapping on different points of the face and upper body. And this talks to the subconscious and conscious mind and starts to change some of those mindsets and emotions that are sabotaging your sense of self worth. And it's very, very simple. All you need to do is just tap where I'm tapping and copy and repeat what I'm saying. And you don't need to remember these, but just so you'll know where we're going, the points we'll be using: the inner eyebrow, outer eyebrow, under the eye, the dip in the lip, dip in the chin, across the collarbone, where the brow strap is if you've got one, and on the top of the head. And it's a very, very soft, gentle vibration tap that you're creating. You're being kind to yourself today. And before we start, we're going to just get the body and the mind feeling into the sensations and the thoughts and the beliefs around approval and disapproval. So just think of a situation, or just generally how you feel when someone gives you disapproval. And just notice where those kind of feelings and sensations sit in the body and what kind of emotions start to come up. So it might be panic, anxiety, fear. And also feel in the body how it feels when you're looking for approval. Is there like a desperation, a seeking sensation, a feeling that something's missing, you need it? And how it also feels when you receive that approval. So do you have a sense of relief, a sense of, I'm okay? And just allow all the thoughts that you have about yourself and other people when you think about your self-worth, receiving approval or disapproval. And at this point, if you want to pause the video and just jot down any thoughts which come to mind, you can. We'll often register the strongest emotions which are going on. But with this, there's so many different ones because you're looking at approval and disapproval. It's like two sides of the same coin. But if there is an overriding feeling when you think about all of this, a panic or an anxiety or a sadness, then just make a note of that and just be aware of it. And now just take a nice, slow, deep breath in. Hold it for a second at the top and softly out. And coming to the side of the hand, and just start to create that very gentle tapping vibration. And again, you're just tapping where I'm tapping and repeating what I'm saying. Even though I get so anxious when people disapprove of me, I feel like I've done something wrong. I can't stand the idea that they don't like me. I feel so guilty. It fills me with shame. I've got to avoid disapproval. I'm open to the possibility that today I can let this go. Today I can feel safe in myself. Even though I'm always seeking approval. It feels safe. Feels like I'm being accepted. Feels like I belong. Acceptance feels like I'm being told that I'm okay. So I can't stop looking for approval. I need others' reassurance. To validate my worth. Today I choose to let this go. And I deeply and completely love and accept all of me. Even though I was taught I wasn't good enough. I was taught if I wasn't acceptable, behaved how other people wanted me to, then I wouldn't be lovable. I'd be rejected. I was taught to avoid disapproval. I learnt it kept me safe. So I've let others value my worth. And I believe them. But I'm open to the possibility everything I was taught might not be true. Maybe I am good enough. Maybe there's nothing wrong with me. So today I'm letting this go. Letting go of the old stories. Letting go of the old beliefs. Letting go of letting other people decide my worth. Because I deeply and completely love and value myself today. Even though I feel like I've lost myself, given myself away to others, can't feel my own self-worth. Ignored what I needed. Ignored what I wanted. Because I needed approval. But today I'm changing all of this. Today I'm coming home to me. I'm choosing to know my own worth. I am safe now. And take a deep breath in and gently tap just across the top of your chest. And softly out. and just coming to your first tapping point, gently tapping and just again repeating and copying what I'm saying. I hate being disapproved of. It makes me feel anxious. I feel like I've been bad. I feel like there's something wrong with me. I feel like I don't fit in. I feel like I don't belong. It fills me with guilt and shame. So I have to avoid disapproval. It's so painful. Feels like I'm being rejected. So I keep seeking approval. I want others to like me, to reassure me, to validate me. To tell me I'm okay. I shapeshift to keep their approval. I filter my words to keep their approval. I hide who I am to keep approval. It feels safer that way. If they approve of me, they might love me. So I keep parts hidden. I feel like I don't approve of me. Maybe everyone was right. Maybe there's something wrong with me. So approval makes me feel better. But it means I'm always anxious, filled with self-doubt, hiding and shrinking. And I lose myself. Always apologizing. And I'm so frustrated with this. I just want to be me. I'm sick of all this fear. Maybe it's safe to be me. Fed up of needing approval. Maybe it's safe to stop this. Today I choose to let this all go. Today I choose to feel safe in myself. Today I choose to know my own self-worth. Today I choose to self-validate. And a deep breath in. And softly out. And just back to your first tapping point. But I have so many painful memories. Being told I was wrong. Criticised. Made to feel small. I had love removed when I wouldn't give others what they wanted. I was taught that love was earned. I was taught that disapproval meant rejection. I was taught that approval made me lovable. I was taught that disapproval meant I was bad. I was taught to be what others needed. I didn't feel important. My needs didn't feel important. My wants didn't feel important. I was taught I had no worth unless I was helping someone else. So I didn't learn self-worth. I didn't learn self-validation. That poor child. Feeling so unimportant. So unlovable. So wrong. But I'm not that little girl anymore. That lonely, scared child. Feeling like you didn't fit. I grew up. I see things differently now. I didn't deserve to be treated like that. I don't have to hide parts of me. Disapproval doesn't mean that I'm wrong. Getting others' approval doesn't mean that I'm suddenly lovable. Others' opinions are just their opinions. It was never about me. But those old stories, those old beliefs, damaged my self-worth. But I see that shouldn't have happened now. Maybe there's nothing wrong with me. Maybe I'm not broken. Maybe their opinions no longer matter. Today I release the past. Today I release those old stories. Today I choose to be free. Today I see my own self-worth. Today I am safe. And just another deep breath in and softly out. And back to the first tapping point. I've given myself away. Hidden who I am. Live my life for others. Desperately looking outside of myself. But I've been here the whole time. I'm ready to come home to me now. Ready to recognize what I want. What I need. Releasing this need for approval. Releasing this fear of disapproval. Releasing reassurance and validation from others. Today I have permission to change this. I'm welcoming home self-trust. I'm allowed to see my own self-worth. No one else can measure my worth. I'm not giving my power away anymore. I'm growing my self-worth. I don't have to do anything to get approval. I don't need others to measure me. I'm choosing to be free of all of this. It's safe to be seen. It's safe to be heard. It's safe to be me. Today I'm approving of me. Today I'm loving me. Today I'm valuing me. And that's enough. I am good enough. I am safe. I choose to know that's true. Today I am enough. And a deep breath in, a gentle tap across your chest, and softly out. Give your hands a bit of a wriggle and your shoulders a bit of a shake. And just feel back into your body and think about the thoughts and the sensations that you were experiencing were coming to mind when you thought about approval or disapproval. And check your notes, see what the kind of words you were using, the emotions you were using, and just see what's changed. It might be that new thoughts have come up, or there's certain areas, whether or not it's the approval side or the disapproval, that you feel drawn to carry on working on. But just keep a record of how things are changing and shifting in your body. And the more times you do this, and you can add in your own words as well, the more times you do this, you will feel your self-worth become less attached to other people's opinions of you and more attached to how you feel about yourself and the things that you want, the things which are important to you. Because shifting external validation into internal validation is the only way you'll ever feel truly safe and secure, because no one can touch it. It becomes calm around people, regardless what their opinions and thoughts are of you, your actions and your choices. And so tell me, what's one small step that you could take today to self-validate yourself? And share it in the comments, and do tell me how you found this video. And if you found it useful, please do like and subscribe, and check out my channel. Most of my videos are to do with inner safety, self-worth, stopping people pleasing, because it's the most freeing thing and the greatest gift that you can give to yourself is to start to live your life for you, feeling safe in who you are. And I'm wishing you a day filled with calm, peace and joy.